What golden nugget of information can you share with us? A daily 30-minute walk reduces the risk of developing dementia. I want to make walking a habit, but I keep forgetting. People often underestimate how large a billion is. The easiest way to understand this is by using seconds. 1 million seconds ago was 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds ago was the year 1987. What is the difference between a million and a billion? About a billion. If you ever take a baseball bat and want to use it as a weapon, put a sock on it, so that if someone tries to disarm you, the bat will slip out of their hands, and they'll be left with the sock. A single strand of spaghetti is called a spaghetto. I thought spaghetto was a place where poor Italians live. Getting older is actually awesome. I'm 53 years old. I feel confident, secure, and healthy, more than ever in my life. I wish I could tell my 28-year-old self not to worry and enjoy life more. Kangaroos have 3 vaginas. But why? 3 times the fun. Peanuts are not nuts. They are legumes that grow underground, like potatoes. Nuts and fruits usually grow on trees and/or are seeds of fruits. You might be allergic to tree nuts but not peanuts, and vice versa. When you open a video on YouTube, you can click on the end of the video and then click replay, and the video will no longer have ads. Instead of pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete and manually selecting Task Manager, you can press Ctrl plus Shift plus ESC. This combination directly opens the Task Manager. A strong sense of impending doom is a recognized medical and most common precursor to a heart attack. 3 meals a day is a diet that was developed in the early 1900s for people doing physical labor. The quality of food and adhering to a daily calorie limit is what really matters. Otherwise, it doesn't matter when you eat, although the 3 meals a day model is indeed beneficial for maintaining energy levels throughout the day. Essentially, it's better to eat when you're hungry rather than forcing yourself to eat when it's time, provided you're getting the necessary nutrients and so on. Horses have a huge blind spot in front of and behind their bodies. If you interact with a tamed horse, keep your hand on its body as you walk around it. This way, it will always know where you are, and the likelihood of it kicking you out of shock or fear will decrease. Additionally, it won't be able to kick you with full force, so it's best to stay as close to the horse as possible. The same goes for goats, as they instinctively fight with incoming animals, and you should approach them from the side. Also, ears are the key to understanding how a horse feels. Pinned back ears indicate that the horse is worried or angry. Erect ears indicate curiosity and focus. The gray rock method is an incredibly useful way to deal with narcissists and toxic people. If such a person verbally or behaviorally attacks you, yells, shows off, or tries to start a conflict, become like a gray rock in a river. Do not react. Do not respond. Do not move. Just sit calmly and let the flow of madness pass by you. A bonus would be if you can achieve a blank stare. When people are trying to elicit a reaction from you, it drives them crazy if they get no reaction at all. If you're in physical danger, act to protect yourself, but don't argue, explain, or defend yourself verbally. You will never change a narcissist's mind. It's simply impossible. Anyway, be careful. This method won't save you from completely unhinged individuals. Edited, many people have correctly noted that abusers might become so angry with the gray rock method that they escalate the conflict. Please assess the situation correctly, as well as the opponent, and use all necessary tools to protect yourself. I am an airline employee. If you check your luggage at the airport an hour or less before departure, the likelihood of it ending up on the plane is 50%. Due to security lines, bag screening can also be significantly delayed. I regularly see passenger bags in screening status for 30+ minutes, after which they may be pulled out for a manual check. This happens randomly, and security doesn't care when your flight departs. Look, there are about 25 minutes left before departure, and your bag has just entered the sorting system. It will take another 5 to 10 minutes for sorting until it reaches the worker loading the luggage carts. The problem is that 7 to 10 other flight bags can come off the same conveyor belt. The worker has to spot your baggage tag among 50 other bags. So let's assume this takes another 5 minutes. The luggage cart for your flight was delivered to the aircraft an hour before departure, and now there are 15 minutes left until departure. The baggage department saw your bag and loaded it onto the tow truck, rushing to the plane. The baggage holds close 7 minutes before departure, and the aircraft's total weight is assessed. Your bag didn't make it onto the plane. In short, the conclusion: please check in for your flight more than an hour before departure if you are checking in luggage. Otherwise, it might not make it onto the plane. For clothing to have a Made in USA tag, only the beginning and end of its production must take place in America. In the case of a particular line of women's underwear, the material is cut in the USA, sent abroad for sewing, and then returned to America. After that, a seamstress attaches a Made in USA tag to the garment. Source: an underwear factory worker. It's surprising how much cheaper it is to send clothes across the world for sewing than to do it domestically. Because these countries use free, slave labor, they don't have an environmental protection agency or equivalents, so everything, except for the raw materials and transportation, is almost free. In first world countries, large corporations have to pay each worker a minimum wage, adhere to strict labor laws, obtain hundreds of permits and certifications, etc. Semen is best washed off with cool water. Using hot water can denature the proteins and make it stickier. The main reason we stop doing things we love is that we forget that we love doing them for pleasure, not just to get good at them. A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days, so don't think that drowning it will solve your problem. So, I flooded my entire house for nothing? Damn! If bees were paid minimum wage, a jar of honey would cost about $200,000. I'm sure the Nestle company would find a way to sell honey at an affordable price. There are about 60,000 characters in the Chinese language. A very literate person knows 20,000. An average person knows 5,000 to 10,000. An uneducated person knows about 3,000. Even if you're not ready to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to an unconscious person, know that chest compressions alone significantly increase their chances of survival. If anyone wants to know why this is, there's still some oxygen left in the circulatory system that can be delivered to the brain through chest compressions. This can make a critical difference. If you carry a baseball bat in your car as a weapon for self-defense, keep a baseball glove nearby. Even if you don't play baseball, your lawyer will thank you for it. Today, I learned that you should put a sock on the baseball bat and carry a baseball glove. If you choke on food and can't call for help, get into a push-up position and then collapse to the floor. You will hit your stomach and chest on the ground, and the piece you choked on will pop out. Edited. You can also press your stomach against the back of a chair. Even using a VPN, it's not guaranteed that you'll stay completely anonymous if skilled people want to find you. Many types of data can leak from your IP address, such as OPv6 leaks, DNS server leaks, and WebRTC. Additionally, every extension you add to your browser creates a unique digital footprint that can lead back to you. In short, turning on a VPN doesn't make you as safe as you think. If your elderly parents or grandparents suddenly start acting strangely, check them for urinary tract infections, UTI. In elderly people, a UTI can cause a psychotic episode or delirium. If you come across a job offer and really want to work there but don't have enough qualifications, apply anyway. Don't say no to yourself. Let the employer say no to you. You might be pleasantly surprised. Both my son and daughter followed this advice and got jobs that started their careers. As a hiring manager, yes, definitely apply to any jobs where you might be even slightly useful. Even if you don't meet all the criteria, I mostly look at experience and practical application of skills and tools. I understand that many aspects can be easily and quickly learned. We also hire based on overall intelligence and character, looking for a good mindset and work ethic. I manage the engineering department at my company. Even people applying for positions like designers, manufacturers, quality control specialists, or whoever we're looking for, usually don't have a degree in the specific field. Heck, even take me. The knowledge I gained in school, I barely use in my current job. Each of the main gun turrets of the Yamato-class battleships weighed over 3,000 tons, heavier than an average American destroyer. If you served on a destroyer in the U.S. Navy during World War II, you risked engaging in battle with a ship whose primary armament alone weighed more than your entire vessel. And the reason for this is that the Japanese Navy was heavily restricted by the West in terms of numbers before the start of World War II. To compensate for this, they built the largest battleships the world had ever seen. Yeah, the Washington Naval Treaty. These turrets became utterly useless scrap once aircraft carriers became the most effective and valuable ships in the fleet. Not to mention, they couldn't replace their losses as quickly as the US could, so every loss dealt a significant blow to them, and they didn't have the resources to make the most of them. Sure, until Midway, Japan's carrier forces were still formidable, but nonetheless, the Japanese essentially created the perfect sword, while everyone else was already making guns. 5 years ago, I had a heart transplant. During the replacement, the surgeon cuts the main nerve that receives the brain's signal to beat, or to increase the intensity of beating. Without this vagus nerve, your new heart cannot regulate itself and pumps blood by habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response, and your new heart always beats at a rate of 90 plus beats per minute. How terrifying. So if you get nervous, your heart doesn't beat faster? Exactly. I no longer have an internal heart rate regulator. My new heart beats purely out of muscle memory. In both world wars, over 70% of combat casualties were due to artillery, and 4% of the sand on the beaches of Normandy still consists of shrapnel. That's just insane. Facts like these really make you think about the hell that happened there. I remember we had a school trip to Normandy for a few days. We went down to the beaches, and our teacher organized a race to the cliffs. We had to carry a classmate on our back. It was so hard. The distance was incredibly huge. The classmate on your back was roughly equivalent to the weight of a soldier's full gear. And that doesn't even consider the fact that we weren't under machine gun fire. There were no artillery shells, no barbed wire, no mines, which couldn't be forgotten either. I can't even imagine how tough it really was. Thank you very much for watching. Please share your nuggets of information in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other videos.